Hi, I am Lindsay Fensel, the dietitian here at Aurora Baycare, in charge of the nutrition portion for the lifestyle management program. We're going to be talking about 4 different topics throughout this series with being part of the lifestyle management program. The first topic we will be discussing will be eating for weight management. So, what types of nutrition and diet programs have you previously tried? So, I want you to pause this at home and think to yourself, have you tried any, certain weight loss diets with like maybe Herbalife or isogenics with certain supplements, or maybe a low carb diet or ketogenic diet when you had to eat certain foods? Maybe you've tried intermittent fasting when you ate during periods of time. Trying to figure out what types of diets you have all personally tried. A lot of common ones are weight loss supplement diets like Herbalife and Isogenics with meal replacement shakes, low-calorie diets, using apps like Weight Watchers, Noom, using detoxes, using a lot of smoothies, the Ultimate Portion Fix, and ketogenic diet, etc. Those are all different types of things that I would say people commonly come to me and say that they've tried in the past. So now, ones that you have tried, how did you feel about those diets? Did they make you feel energized? Did they make you feel hungry all the time? Did they make you feel like you were missing something, that you were constantly being restricted? Or did they make you feel very energized and full of life and feel like you could eat whatever you wanted? Trying to identify how did you feel not just physically, but mentally and emotionally throughout the times you did those different diets. Commonly, you will find a trend that those diets don't work. Many people will say that they have tried these in the past, and I will ask them, okay, like, why aren't you doing them anymore? And they'll say, like, the diet worked when I was doing it, but it was really restrictive, and I got off track because I had summer coming or a holiday, and whatever happened because life is life. So they stopped doing that diet or program for a specific reason. When they do it, it works. When they don't do it, it doesn't work. And that's something that I would like to educate people on, is being able to do things that you don't really have to be on and off of. It's just a lifestyle change, right? Why these programs commonly don't work is because they will decrease your metabolism. When you're on them, they will restrict you quite a bit. And then over time, if you stay on them for too long, you actually slowly decrease your metabolism. So when you get off of them, you're like, I can barely eat anything and I'm still not losing weight. It's because you've now lowered your metabolism to adapt to the lack of calories that you are consuming. Weight loss and weight gain cycling can commonly occur where you lose the weight when you're on it and then you get off it and you gain that back. Some people even gain back more weight than they lost on programs. Feeling defeated and losing confidence, you think that you're never going to find a program that works for you. You've tried all these different things, but you're changing yourself to fit into certain rules of one program instead of building a program that works personally around you, individualized to your specific schedule, your goals, your interests, your financial ability, etc. It can leave you nutrient deficient. So if you cut out like an entire group, a lot of people will do keto, but then they'll eat a lot of, fattier meats, dairy products, and really forget that yes, you can have protein and fat, but you still need lots of greens and lots of lower sugar fruits. Those people commonly will be low in fiber because they not only just cut out like processed grains, but they have now cut out like all grains, like large portion of fruit isn't allowed. They won't eat a lot of vegetables because they can only eat like leafy greens. And so they end up not knowing the right way to go about that. And they end up becoming nutrient deficient. A common one I see is just being low in fiber. And then also just being low in energy in general because you have a combination for nutrients that you're low in. So your body just feels off. Um, Causing hormone imbalances or gut issues. So if you are eating in a certain way that is causing stress to your body, that can be expressed in your body as gut issues like bloating, constipation, diarrhea, excess gas, acid reflux, things like that. Also hormone imbalances. So your skin might break out, so you might lose hair, your your nails might get thin, you might notice that you have mood swings, you might notice a lot of different fluctuations throughout your menstrual cycle if you're a female. And so these things can all happen due to just being deficient in certain nutrients. It can lead to disordered eating patterns where people now think that an entire inherent group of food is bad. So like carbs are bad. Yeah, but they also have lots of nutrients and fiber and stuff, and making sure you're choosing the right ones is really important. But people will just be like, this is bad. Cupcake is bad. There's lots of different situations and examples of things that I can talk about with people one-on-one to help them figure out, what aligns with your specific goals. And lastly, if you're under eating, you're going to constantly feel hungry. I help a lot of people increase what they can eat throughout the day because they feel too afraid that to eat more because they're like, I'm not losing weight. Unfortunately, a lot of the time is their metabolism has now lowered so much. So you eat less food, and so you're constantly hungry, and you're like, I'm only eating 1,200 calories a day. This app is telling me to eat 1,200 calories a day, but I'm starving and I'm still not losing weight. That's because your body's telling you it needs more energy, it needs more food. What I like to focus on is more of a weight management approach versus a weight loss approach. Here's kind of the differences between them. Weight loss focuses only on using a lower body weight as the measurement of success, where weight management, or more of a weight neutral approach, does utilize weight as a tool of success, but also utilizes body composition, like your body fat and muscle, vital signs, lab values, energy levels, body measurements, like your waist to hip ratio, if you've gained muscle, accounting for those things, just sleeping patterns, mood, all those things. It's more weight neutral, considering other things besides just the scale. Weight loss is having the goal of weighing less and getting lighter is your motivation to continue going in that journey, regardless of how you feel. You're like, I'm really hungry and I feel kind of low energy and lightheaded, but I'm losing weight, so this must be working. Where weight management and more a weight neutral approach focuses on improving overall health and wellness while accepting when you're doing these healthy lifestyle habits, your body shape, size, weight may change, and that's what it's going to be. It might not change as much as you want. It may change more than you want, but eating healthy, nourishing your body, moving it in a way that feels good will make your body change in a way. Yes, weight loss generally will come along with that, but to the extent that you're hoping for, who knows? But focusing more on overall health versus just solely seeing lower numbers on the scale. Weight loss commonly is a short-term approach, so you reached a goal weight and now you're done. You met your goal. Okay, but now what do you do, right? Where weight management and a weight neutral approach is realizing there is no end point and focusing on the long-term approach to health is most important. To help people eat for weight management, I help them utilize 3 different tools. So number 1 is eating balanced meals and complete snacks. Number 2 is portion control and of higher calorie foods. And number 3 is intuitive eating. So balanced meals. So figuring out, what should be included in a meal, what should you be eating? So every meal should include protein, a fiber-rich carb, a healthy fat, and nutrients, which are fruits and vegetables. You will see examples of all of the pictures that I gave you. So eating a one-pan meal, chicken, potatoes, green beans, very delicious, very easy. You can make it for your family in one pan. Stir fries, rice, whether it's long grain rice, brown rice, jasmine rice, basmati rice, a really good fibrous whole grain, shrimp, and then some vegetables to go with that. This open breakfast sandwich, you have the whole grain if you have a nice nutritious bread. You have healthy fats from the egg and avocado. You also have vegetables from the greens and the tomatoes. So you'll notice that all these include a protein, a fiber-rich carb, a fat, and nutrients, but they're all very inclusive of whatever food you might be liking to eat. So breaking down the components of a meal, it's important to have all components. You don't want to just cut them out because protein helps repair and build body tissue, and it facilitates a higher metabolism. So repairing your muscles, obviously we think mostly of that, but making sure that your hair is growing well, making sure your skin is growing well, making sure that your joints and your tendons and your ligaments are all developing well. carbohydrates are your primary source of energy and the brain's preferred source of energy, which means as you eat carbohydrates, that turns into glucose in your body, and glucose is what runs the energy of your body. So eating carbs directly fuels you. So if you get into exercising more regularly, you will notice that you will feel significantly better if you're eating more wholesome carbs, although these can easily be overconsumed, and that's another situation, but trying to get nutritious fiber-rich carbs is really important for fueling your body. Eating fats, ideally healthier fats, because it helps provide energy and support cellular function. Also omega-3 fats, so the anti-inflammatory fats are really, really good for just nervous system function and getting rid of inflammation in your body to make sure your body's just functioning well. And then nutrients, so your vegetables and your fruits, they are needed for metabolism of macronutrients. A lot of people are like, well, if it fits my macros, I got a protein, carb, and fat. What they don't realize is your micronutrients, so your fruits and vegetables, the colors, you actually need all those vitamins and minerals for a purpose. And so you're not able to metabolize protein as well if you don't have proper vitamins. You're not able to utilize fat as well for your metabolism if you don't have proper vitamins, right? So you need to make sure you're including those things with your macronutrients. But also they have fiber, vitamins, minerals, like I said, antioxidants, which help decrease inflammation in the body. And then phytochemicals, which is just a big word for saying plant chemicals. Phyto means plant. And if you ever hear like carrots are good for your eyes, blueberries are good for preventing cancer, the colors of food are provided by phytochemicals. So different types of chemicals in plants make it look red, make it look blue, make it look orange. And those colors and those phytochemicals are actually the specific components of the food that are very health promoting and preventing diseases. So now visualizing a balanced plate, if you just wanted to see a different view instead of just like, being like, okay, I have 4 components, but how much of they should I be eating? Vegetables and fruits should be half your plate, always having at least 1/4 of your plate of protein, and then carbs and fat kind of fit into the other quarter, and then utilizing water as well. So moving away from meals, going into snacks, you want to make sure that you're also having 2 components in a snack. You want to have a protein and then a not protein food. So mixing, not just having an apple, but apple with peanut butter. You know, not just eating some berries, but eating some Greek yogurt with some berries. Not just eating grapes, but eating cottage cheese or a string cheese with grapes. Not just eating, Cheez-Its or rice cakes or crackers, but trying to pair something else with it. Protein will help regulate your blood sugars, which helps you and also makes you feel more full, which promotes more weight management. Next is intuitive eating. So you're saying, okay, this is what I should be eating, but how much do I eat? When do I stop eating? So this is what I tell people to focus on more instead of measuring things, trying to focus on eating in an intuitive eating way, which I will get into. And what it means is eating in a way you can make peace with all types of food, no longer looking at food as good or bad, listening to the body's natural cues of hunger and satiety. You're not focusing on what you need to do for gaining or losing weight. So just figuring out how you can eat to feel good. The importance of intuitive eating has shown in research improves mental health, stress levels, and relationships with food. It is less time consuming than counting and weighing everything. And it also incorporates mindfulness and listening to your body, which is really good for your overall health, mental health, and physical health to be more in tune with how your body properly functions. So now, how do you intuitively eat? You recognize your hunger, which I will show you a hunger scale next. It goes from 1 to 10. You reject the diet mentality and expectations. So you're not eating in a certain way that you've seen other diets have in the past. Like this is bad, therefore I can't eat it. You're rejecting those things. You're going off of what feels good for you. You aim for fullness and satisfaction. So this is an example of how you can have one without the other. So fullness means you are truly like getting full. You cannot eat any more food, right? Satisfaction means you don't want to eat any more food. So physical fullness versus satisfaction is more of the mental, like do I feel like I'm satisfied, like I'm done eating? So a lot of people will say, I want this brownie. And they're like, I'm not gonna eat this brownie, I'm gonna go eat this chocolate fiber one bar. They ate it, they're like, okay, that didn't really satisfy me. I'll go eat this chocolate protein bar. Eat that, it didn't quite satisfy them. You know, eat some dark chocolate hummus with strawberries. Ate that, didn't quite satisfy their needs. So now they've consumed, you know, like 3, 4, 500 calories. They're very full and they're still not satisfied because they chose all different things that didn't satisfy them when they really just wanted the one brownie that would have, you know, made them not terribly full and would have made them feel extremely satisfied. And they would have only consumed, you know, 100 or 115 calories for that one brownie versus all the food they ate to replace it that were healthier objective foods. Eat foods that make you feel good physically, mentally, and emotionally. So not just, I mean, obviously it's important to feel good physically, right? You want to have energy, you want to sleep well, you want to be able to exercise and not feel yucky, but also like what makes you feel happy on the inside. If eating certain things truly bring you joy, eat them. Even if, you know, they're not the most nutritious, incorporating them in moderation is very healthy for you, for your mental health and your emotional health. And incorporate joyful exercise and movement. So intuitive eating, like I said, is a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest side, so you are ravenous. You literally skip breakfast, and now it's 11 or 12, and you are getting lightheaded, your blood sugars are dropping, maybe you're getting angry, like you're really, really hungry, that's a 1. 10 would be you're so full, Thanksgiving Day full, you're unbuttoning your pants, and you're laying down because it hurts so much. So that would be a 10. You don't want those. You want to stay away from the outside. So you don't want to be 1 or 2. You don't want to be 9 or 10. You want to ideally be 3 to 8. So you want to eat when you're at a 3. You know, you're starting to notice like, okay, my energy is dropping. I'm losing concentration. I definitely could eat a snack. 8 is I'm comfortably full. I don't want to eat more because then I'll feel uncomfortable. I'm very satisfied and very like comfortably full. And I know that when my body is time to digest this, I'm not going to become uncomfortable, right? So 3 to 8 is ideally where you want to be. So it also utilizes mindfulness, like I said. So mindfulness is really helpful for food because a lot of the times we'll get a trigger and then we'll respond to it. So we're bored, so we go to the cabinet and we look for snacks. Or we're angry, so we go grab a cupcake. Or we're excited, so we go grab a cupcake. Like, we're not using mindfulness, we're just reacting. So it's important to add the pause in between. That pause is the mindfulness. So you got to become aware of your inner experience and environmental cues. Pause between the trigger and the response so you can make an intentional decision. So an example of this is you go to the movie theater. Maybe you just got done with dinner. You're not hungry at all, but you're like, I'm going to go to the movie theater. I'm going to get popcorn. I just am. I'm not hungry at all. I'm just getting popcorn because my family always does. Okay, so if you know you're not hungry, why do you need popcorn, right? You're just doing it out of habit. There's just a trigger. But if you pause and you're like, we did just go out to dinner. I am actually quite full. I'm very satisfied. Maybe I'll just get like a cup of water and drink that throughout the time. Maybe I can get the small popcorn because maybe I do have a little bit of room left, but maybe you don't. So, but you can use that pause and that mindfulness to check in with your body and actually make more of an informed decision that aligns with your goals and helps you not overeat, which will prevent you from overconsuming calories and gaining weight. So a lot of us will mindlessly eat because we're multitasking. So we often will pair eating with other tasks like driving, scrolling on your phone, watching TV, or just working at your desk. Ways that we can implement more practice of mindful eating can be sitting down at an actual dinner table, putting your electronics away, turning the TV off, putting your phone away, not listening to music, creating an ambiance, so like setting yourself a nice little sitting area, you know, making your food look pretty. Don't directly eat out of like a bag. You know, take your portion, put it in a bowl, put it on a plate. Be more mindful of chewing slower and really enjoying the flavor of the food. And then a trick can also be just serving the food in a separate location than eating the food. So not just everyone sitting around big bowls of food and serving themselves, making more of an assembly line where you fill up your plate, you leave and you go sit down and you eat your plate and then you reevaluate. Okay, pause, check in with myself. Am I a little bit hungry? Could I use a little bit more protein? I think I could use, like you just kind of like figure out what works best for you. Or like, I really didn't get a lot of vegetables. I could really use some extra nutrients right now. Having that extra time to check in with your body is really important. So the third component is, even though fats are very healthy, higher calorie foods, primarily fats, can be overconsumed, right? It is super important to include them into your meals, but within reason. So you are allowed to eat all foods, but some foods can be higher in calories, which can lead to long-term weight gain if consumed consistently and frequently. There are other foods besides fats that are higher in calories. A lot of the processed foods are, so like, yeah, more if you just get like going out to eat is more calorie because they're putting more seasonings and stuff in it. Going out to fast food because there's just more oils and stuff added to it. Adding lots of sauces and really creamy, heavy, like sauces can be more fat because there's more cream. Can be more higher in calories because the fat in the cream is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. So fats usually are the ones, like I said, are the higher calories, although they can be very helpful. So like avocado oil and olive oil, very healthy, but just walking calories. Taking maybe a quarter of an avocado versus eating the whole avocado, or taking a half instead of eating the whole one. Portioning out, like a quarter cup of nuts and seeds or trail mix versus just grabbing handfuls. Maybe scooping one big scoop out of peanut butter jar and then that's it, not going in for extras. Cheese, eating your one string cheese or grabbing a couple slices and then putting the rest away, not just taking the whole block out and continuing to chop it off the block. Same with sausage. And dried fruit, really, which is a carb, is really nutritious for you. It does count as a fruit serving. A quarter cup is, if it's unsweetened, there's not a lot of extra sugar added, although it is higher in calories because everything is shrunk down. So you're consuming a lot more within taking up less space, if that makes sense. So I wanted to give you, you can pause and write this down. These are common portion sizes of things that I would say people overconsume. So peanut butter, 2 tablespoons, or I would say like 1 big spoon. Nuts or trail mix, a quarter cup. Seeds, so if you're gonna top a salad with some seeds, 2 tablespoons, sprinkling it on there. Don't just take a whole handful and put a bunch of seeds on there because that's gonna be, a little bit more than you need. Olive oil or avocado oil or any oils, knowing that 1 tablespoon is like a serving, and so I would say trying to stay 1 to 2 is really good options for cooking. Dried fruit, like I said, 2 tablespoons to a quarter cup, and then avocado, 1/4 to a half would be like a good serving. You are allowed to eat more than these serving sizes, absolutely. I just want you to be aware of what a serving size may look like. So that if you decide, you know what, today I really want the whole avocado. I haven't really had many other fats today, and this tastes really, really good, and I want the whole avocado. You can absolutely do that, but I just want you to be informed and know what a serving size would be. And then you'll see I gave you a picture of simple measuring guide for snacks, which would be open hands, like popcorn and stuff. So veggies and fruit, it's around a fist, and condiments and cheese and things like that would be around 1 to 2 teaspoons, around like a thumb size, I would say. Protein, like the palm of your hand, is a really good serving, and then healthy fats around like the top of your thumb, and then grains and desserts would be around a half a cup or like 1 cup, like this. Like I said, you are able to eat more than those. Just knowing that what a portion is, I think, is very valuable for people. Because if you notice, like, oh, I've been eating 7 servings of noodles when I have pasta, that would be a really great way for you to, number one, bring that down a little bit and then add half your plate be vegetables and fruit, right? So just having the information can be very valuable. So now bringing it all together, to better manage weight and facilitate a sustainable weight loss, you can pair intuitive eating, building balanced meals, and snacks. and eating proper portions for high calorie foods to really allow you to feel nourished, satisfied, full, include all the foods that you want, but not overconsume and keep you at a very healthy weight. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or ask one of the personal trainers when you see them next, or you can ask me in our one-on-one when you see me next. But I hope you found this presentation helpful and you find a couple things from it that you can pull away and apply to your life.